Right, apologies for all of that, it looks like we're back. I don't know why, I just had like a momentary interweb outage, and as a result, it all died. Thank you to the ever wonderful Hayden for putting up with the absolute carnage that tonight has been. So yeah, big apologies there. In all of that, it looks like I didn't. Obviously, I was dealing with all of the technical issues, as is the normal. And had De Hoys looks like they have been passed by Wilson and Hagen and Wilson. By the looks of things, there was some contact involved because there is a 10-second penalty for De Hoys. Car 891 causing collision with car 13, lap 76, 10 seconds. So that will be that car having that issue. So that would have been, I think, the contact earlier on in the race that we saw with De Hoys and Hagen having the incident going across. Oh, was that car? No, that was car 13. Car 13 was Dejira. That would be the reason that car has dropped back. That must have been being in the process of lapping. So Bobar is still out there and is 2 seconds back on De Hoys. De Hoys is about 0.8 back on Wilson. Wilson is 1.2 back on Hagen. Hagen is now leading this one. I think these two cars have got the best chance of getting to the end. We've got 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Whew, this is not going to be a particularly This is going to be a close one. Like I say, it now comes down to Wilson and Hagen. De Hoys is to some degree out of this one. Unfortunately, with that penalty, if they stop and take a stop in 10 seconds, that's going to cost them more time than going to the end of the race. That 10 seconds, it's going to put them in fourth, basically. That Audi of Giorgio is, I think, the first car off the lead lap. So this top four are all on the lead lap currently, barring any major issues. And that is where it sits. I think, like I say, I think Bobar is having to just run and hope that the race doesn't go too much more than a lap beyond the time. And as I say, these two cars, unfortunately, I don't have the stint times available to me because everything died. I don't know why we had a random outage of interweb. Oh no, it has caught up. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Sorry, I did not realise this. It has actually caught up. Everything's got asterisks next to it. So Hagen is out. Hagen and Wilson are out for an hour and a minute, basically. De Hoys is hour and 4. Bobar is hour and 7 at this point. I think that is too much to do. Dejira's out for an hour. Brio is, unfortunately they are not really in this one, unfortunately, but that, in 8th, they're 49 minutes. They've got 10-minute better tyres. More than 10-minute better tyres. Almost 15-minute better tyres in some, essentially as an average, than these top four. So, I almost want to say what could have been if that had worked out. But I think they're just too even on pace as Harkin they're going for all the slipstream off of Ganley. Borinsky's... Giorgio may have to make another stop. They're on an hour and 7 in that Audi. With 7 minutes to go. That's an hour and 15 in that car. Hour and 14, hour and 15 plus in that car. That might be another car that has to stop for fuel. Hour and 6 for Cargins. Hour and 5 for Ganley. Hour and 4 for Dekawa. And everything else is kind of hour and 1, hour and 2. So I think those are the ones that most our money's on of having to make another stop. Are those that are well beyond that. As we have yellow flags on track, I'm not sure where that is. Car 50. Dobson, oh, you got eaten by the sausage curbs. I know exactly what you've done there. You come out the last corner, got the car up on the sausage curbs, booted it, and it's gone round. We've all done it. I mean, if you haven't managed to hit the barrier on the inside, you're doing well. Spin it back round, get going, and you'll be fine. I think this is going to be a bit of a quiet one after this now. The question is, can Wilson now do anything about Hagen? Because I think these two are the ones that can battle the hardest, and have got the fuel to spare, and evidently it looks like they might do. It's going to be full rich to the end, hopefully, for both these cars. De Huy's dropped behind Bobar. Wow! I'm assuming they made a mistake in trying to keep up and match the pace, assuming they have made a mistake in that and have dropped back. Cargens has got a stop go 30 for whatever that was. Let's have a quick look to see if that was in... No, you have managed to do that yourself. I'm assuming that's because you decided to go through the pits and it did not work. Let's have a look. Yes, you have got that from speeding in the pit lanes. You stopped for 10 seconds. Well done, you special human being. Honestly, it's actually to be at this point in the race, it's actually quite easy to do. It's quite easy to do. It was, yeah. Corgans is another one of the drivers that's been through this one full time. They have not had another driver in that one. So, yeah. Possibly slightly mean comments, but at the same time, yeah, it's the biggest thing you can lose time on. And you can lose way more time than you can gain, as that is Dobson going on for a bit of a wander. We won't embarrass you too much by following what happened there. So yeah, well done Cargens for that one. Yeah, very sorry to the YouTubeage for all of that kerfuffle and Twitchage and what have you. That did not go to plan at all. Yeah, so that is how this goes. Like I say, I think it's going to be down to these two as to who's going to fight it for the win. it's going to be Hagen versus Wilson to the end now. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. That's 3 laps. Oh, that's 3 laps. Bobar is on a minute, is an hour and 13 on their current tank of fuel. De Hoy's is hour and 10 on their current tank of fuel. These two, hour and 7. Who has to make an extra pit stop and who has to save a lot of fuel? The thing is, though, these two, they are basically a lap ahead of Giorgio in the Audi. So they should be able to make a pit stop and then come out clear of Giorgio in the Audi. So I think they're going to be good if both of those have to stop. It then comes down to who can do the best in terms of stop. Although De Hoy's does have that 10 seconds, they will have to serve that if they do stop. Oh, this is basically whether Bobar has to stop or not. For 3rd place, it's whether Bobar has to stop, and if so, for how long, and if there's any mistakes made. As we see Coulson trying to putting Hagen under a huge amount of pressure. I am wondering whether Hagen has a little bit of a fuel save. Fortunately, they're not going to go much beyond a lap. This is the start of the last lap now. Cargins has to serve that stop-go. They were desperately hoping they didn't have to serve that, but they are going to have to serve that now. This is the last lap. That's going to put these two, hour and 10, hour and 15. Bobar is going to be on absolute fumes in that car. If that ticks over to 1 as they go... where is that car on track? Okay, you have cleared the pit lane. You do think you have enough fuel to do another lap. Whoo! That is... With 40 seconds to go, that's probably about the best position that could have been in. If it was 1 minute and 40 to go, that could have been the worst position for that car. Because that would have meant they still had another lap in about 10 seconds. But we do get to see some fantastic racing between these two for another lap, to the end of this lap. Who's going to do what coming through this last sector? 2 corners to go. Is Wilson going to send it? Or are they just going to hang on and take the 2nd place and take the points? Looks like they're going to hang on and take it for the points. Cockins... no. Yeah, that was the Audi 818 that also you saw slowed to make sure they didn't have to do another lap. That Audi was an hour and 15. Bobar has finished. De Hoy's is just coming through the last couple of corners now. As Ganley crosses the line. And De Hoy's finishes. De Gira has got Stevens. No, sorry, that is... Yeah, that is Stevens. They must have pitted for another time. And that's those two finished. Brio, Benz Brio is there. I think he must be the last car on track. No, that is De Cauer behind. Cargins is just coming through. So it is going to be the last 2 cars to cross the line. Yeah, last 2 cars to cross the line will be Cargins, Brio and De Cauer to finish this one off. Whew, very well done. We finished, 12 cars finished that one. 16 started. We lost the 666 Maserati, the 54 Nissan, the 59, McLaren, the 777, Aston in that one, unfortunately. So, that was another round. I'm going to find OBS wherever that went. Do that. And see if anybody wants to come and join. That was a heck of a race. Very well done to everybody that finished. That was not an easy one. These never are, and I think this is probably one of the tougher tracks for this as well in the calendar. We'll give it a little bit before anybody. Yeah, well done, Wilson. Came home second, 2.31 back. Sorry, 0.231 back. As you cross the line, according to my timings. De Hoys has got 10 seconds, but in fourth, but that's not going to make any real difference. Bobar was 10 seconds back behind both of you. How that car, I genuinely want to know how much fuel that thing had left in it. It must be sipping at fumes. Good evening. Solly 14? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I have no idea where you are from the world. Joys of the internet. It was indeed. It was indeed. If anybody... we do have a Barry. We have a Barry waiting. We shall go talk to the Barry.
Oh.
Good evening. A wild Barry appears.
Oh my word. I feel like I've done a full workout after that.
I mean, honestly, it looked like you did.
Yeah, look, 0.23. I don't know how I kept you behind. He was so fast.
Indeed. I mean, honestly, the whole top four was... I'm genuinely curious as to how little fuel you had left. Because
I had one more lap of fuel left.
I dread to think how much Bobar and Hoyes finished with. Because you pitted like 3 or 4 laps after Bobar, and somehow Bobar finished.
Yeah, I could have comfortably put another 15 litres of fuel in the car too. I only put 105 in for stint 2. Because that's all it told me I needed. And it was enough and barely any more.
Yeah. I mean,
once I realized I had enough, I just gunned it.
Yeah, we did see that is that you two, we could see the pace pick up, and it put Bobar and De Hoys under so much pressure. Bobar in particular, because they had, I dread to think how much fumes they had left in that tank.
The second, or I think for about the first hour and a half, I was like, "There's not a chance I'm catching them two cars," because I know one of them switched drivers anyway. And as soon as the time started to slowly creep down, I was like, "Hang on a minute." And whenever I was behind the Aston, at the end, thankfully, whenever we collided, it didn't hurt me too much. Because I went off track after, I think he went wide. I'm not exactly sure. I need to have a look at the replay.
Yeah, we did see it. We did have a bit of a replay because we saw it vaguely. We suddenly saw yellow flags and what have you.
Yeah, I'm just lucky that the fastest field, map in the Porsche is map 8, but I was running map 4 the entire time. It's almost identical power, but you use slightly less fuel. And that's what I was running for, I think, 2 hours of the race.
Yeah.
I've seen Luke's comments on YouTube. Like,
Wilson was running fuel save like crazy for stint 1.
I was running field map 4 the rest of or engine map 4 the rest of the race, and it was just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of turn 3 especially, the amount of times we were side by side, but I could just put the power down and keep ahead.
That Porsche can just, it's got so much drive.
Yeah, there was a few laps where I was like, he's got me here, he's got me, but I just was able to keep ahead.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I
the
was
Porsche doesn't weigh anything, and it's got...
I was waiting for my mistake. Because I was like, it's gonna come, I'm gonna bottle it somehow.
But yeah, I mean, you two crossed the line with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that was lucky for everybody behind you, because if that was 1:40, you'd have had 2 laps to do.
Yeah, and I think I would have just done it in the fuel I had left, but no more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was sitting in a call with Hayden and Dexter, where they're sorting some stuff out, and they were like, Dexter was keeping me updated on like, how many laps I had left, because I wasn't looking at the deltas, I was just focused on the driving.
Yeah, it is always the challenge trying to do these things and just keeping an eye on that fuel.
But look, what a race, man! GG. I don't know how I done that.
Yeah,
I will take it.
Indeed, it's a win. It's always a good one. And it's a win for the commentary team. So we'll call that.
Yeah. I am gonna go for a lie down. I think.
I think you need in need of a cold shower and.
Yeah. No. GG. Look, that was a great race. Kept me honest for so much of it too. But yeah, excellent stuff.
Well, very well done, and enjoy.
I'll catch you later.
Indeed, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye.
Whew, well, yeah, that was how that was for Barry. It was a heck of a race. Well done to both of you. There was not a lot in it between both of you. It was really interesting seeing that through that second stint as you both realised you had fuel on the cars in front. And the cars in front just didn't have an answer to it. I think De Hoy's in the Aston possibly did, but I'm not 100% sure. But Bobal really didn't. That track is brutal on fuel economy. Because so much of it is flat out and so much of it is hard acceleration zones as well. Coming out of there's at least 2 first gear corners in, and a lot of a bunch of second gear, low speed second gear corners as well. So that's gonna be hard to save fuel on a track like that. As we heard, running funky fuel maps, lift and coast, everything in the books to try and keep everybody behind. I knew when they wouldn't. Yeah, that was all strategy between us in 3 and 4. I knew when they went in, they had no chance versus us 2. Yeah, already knew they were going to be P1 2. It was just what would. Yeah, no, you pushed. Yeah, you pushed so hard against Barry at the end of that. It was fantastic to watch. Apologies well and truly for the outage there. Don't know what happened. It just died my end. I think there was just a momentary on-off of the internet, and fortunately, Hayden was on hand to give us a stream key to get us back online. But yeah, really well done to everybody in that one. I'm pretty exhausted having been commentating on this for the last couple of hours. I dread to think what you lot are like having driven for the last couple of hours. Obviously there is the stewards' inquiries, anything that's going to happen over the next 24 hours or so regarding any penalties that need to be applied. Obviously, we saw a couple that weren't served that will just be added on at the end of the race anyway. It's not going to make any difference to the top 4 anyway because 5th was too far back. So, I will just have a quick double check. If there was nobody else here, I am exhausted. I don't know if you can tell by the fact my brain is how much my brain has just been giving up halfway through some of these sentences. It's just suddenly the words don't happen. If nobody else is around to have a chat, as much as it would have been lovely to chat to a few more of you if they were around, I think we're going to call it here. I am exhausted after that. I hope everybody watching has enjoyed it. I hope, more to the point, everybody that was racing has enjoyed it, because soggy is the word. Yes, I could totally. I dread to think what it's like for you two. For you lot having just finished that, I'm sat here. Unfortunately, I've not been able to have any fans running because I need to get a big fluffy cover for my mic if I'm going to do that. So it's not exactly cool in my room, with 3 reasonably warm screens in front of me. So I'm going to bid everybody a good night, and extremely well done to everybody that finished. Not just the top 4 that finished on the lead lap, but absolutely everybody in that field that finished. Commiserations to those that didn't. There's another round next week. Come and give it your all. Let's see what you can do. This series is very much come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And kudos to everybody. Genuinely, quite seriously considering giving it a whirl next time out if we do the series again. And so yeah, we're gonna say a good night to everybody and stop rambling on. And hope you all have a wonderful time with everything you're doing over the weekend. And you might catch us in chat. Unfortunately, I've got a ton of stuff to do tomorrow and on Sunday, so I'm not going to be around for the 6 hours. Hopefully, you might see some of you in chat if I get 5 minutes. We'll pop in and say hi. Otherwise, you'll be. I think it's Hayden and Mac are on comms for that one tomorrow. So go send them some love for the 6 hours. It's Silverstone and all the drivers and teams that are running. So from me and from everybody else here at Toga, it is a good night and enjoy.